Hello, everyone. Hope all is well with you. Today is Thursday, and I'm here with another episode of Weekly Connect on Thursdays at noon, US, Canada Central Time. And every week I talk about either a question or a specific topic. And today I thought I would share my top strategy for influencing others because that's really key. No matter where we are or what we do, we want to work with others. We are in some sort of relationship with others, whether it's our own family, our kids, our spouse, partner, or it's outside of it, working in a job like corporate or startup or small company or our own business. And then we interact with our clients and the stakeholders. And really, one of the big factors that make things possible and takes us to the next step is influencing others in one way or another. I always remember the quote by John Maxwell. He says, "Leadership is influence, nothing less, nothing more." Leadership is influence, nothing less, nothing more. So if leadership is influence, it means it has to do something with people that we connect. And when we look at the definition of influence, is like it's about the capacity to affect someone's behavior or someone's development or someone's character. And now the question is, how can I, as an individual, influence others? And when we think of influencing others and impacting them, affecting them, leading them so they can follow, I come to this point. We have to really understand them, right? So if I want to influence someone or persuade even someone, I need to understand them. So when I understand someone, then I can influence them, or I can create a product or presentation that I can um, help them decide better, or I can influence their decision. So when it comes to understanding, then what is the best strategy that I, as a person, whether I'm in my personal life or my career or my business, I can show that or I can prove that I'm understanding others. So there could be variety of strategies, and people may come up with different strategies, but my top strategy when it comes to understanding and influencing others is listening. Yeah, it may sound simple, listening. So if you really want to understand people, you don't maybe need to just communicate better. I mean, communication definitely at the top. But by communication, many of us think of just speaking. So the more I explain to them, the better they understand. But it could, if we look at it from another angle, communication is also about listening to others, to their needs. And then from there, I find out more about them, their interests, their needs, their aspirations. I can help them um, better understand what's in front of them. And that's really what makes coaching or coaches different, right? Some coaches really listen to the people and then they can help them. Some leaders in companies really listen to the people at different levels, and that way they can develop those people. That way they can create followers and they can influence those people, and those people really follow them. Now, when we look at social media on LinkedIn, for example, you see some people use very simple quotes that I do also, but you see the different levels of attention and influence that you may notice. Um, why? Because that person really understands the followers, and the followers can connect to that person. Maybe this person has listened or communicated with the followers to understand their needs better. So this is my top strategy: listening to people, and started by people around you, the closest people around you. Listening to your kids, listening to your spouse, partner, listening to the parents, listening to the friends, and then take it to the next step, listening to your connections. And when we look at the listening, it's not just about, okay, what are you talking about? Sometimes it's listening to what is not spoken, which goes more in depth about different levels of listening. And I have talked about these different levels of listening in my book, Leadership Soup, which is just one chapter about listening. And that's why I put it as uh, one of the top ways that you can tap into people's needs, behavior, and then from there you can come up with ways to connect with them better, to understand them better. And when you do that, they naturally follow and you naturally influence. You don't need to push, you just pull. And that has come really to my attention recently. I see lots of people requesting for connecting with me on social media, especially LinkedIn these days. And they just come very nicely at the beginning. But as soon as you accept their connection request, they just send a message, oh, I have this one, and would you be interested? Or they send a link without really knowing me much, without understanding my needs. They just assume now, based on the title, um, they assume that I need their services. And that really turns me off. And I'm sure you have also experienced that. So, one of the ways is just connect with that person, understand their needs, maybe in and from approach them from another angle rather than just quickly jumping to offering what you have for them or showing evidence that you're the best in your industry. Just use the basic techniques. And one of them is just listening to their needs and see what they want to achieve, their aspirations. And that's the approach I'm taking with all of these. I'm just putting it out there and then see what feedback I get. I connect with people through the membership also that I have, and you can see that here. This is an inner circle that I have created so that I can listen to those who join the inner circle membership, to listen to their needs and their struggles and their challenges much better, and then work with them on a regular basis to help them take it to the next level. So if there is interest, you can just check that out and then see if you want to join for free. You can join for a few months. Right now it's 3 months, and then see how it goes after that. I normally, I used to sometimes send a message to my connections for something, but I've stopped that because that push technique doesn't really work anymore with all these traffic that we get, all these requests that we get. It's more about building trust, building relationship, and then uh, creating that level of influence that the person naturally follows rather than you push them to follow. You kind of pull them with the value that you add to them. And it really doesn't matter if you are a business owner, you work in a company, or it's in your family. One example is, let's say you are looking for a job. Many times I've seen people go to interviews without studying or understanding the company that they want to go and work eventually. So they go just with the hope that whoever interviews them is nice enough to hire them. But competition is really high. So if you really want to succeed, you have to understand your hopeful your employer to be. Find out who could be the manager who interviews you, which section you had applied for. Learn about the company's aspirations, the vision, the mission, the values that they have. And then this way you can go and um, discuss and also listen to whatever the interviewee says so you can respond to the question they're asking and kind of figure out what are they interested in hearing. So it's really important if you want to go for a sales pitch to a company or someone, understand them first, listen to their needs, and then go, and would have a much higher chance of success. Okay, so this was my top strategy for understanding and therefore influencing others. Now, when it comes to listening, there are various ways of listening. It's not just about hearing. I always remember the time that my daughter, when she was she was 3 years old, and back in Canada at that time, I was working behind my desk, and she was saying something to me, and I was just nodding my head, and my head was like toward my computer, and she was here listening, talking to me. And I said, yeah, I know what you're saying. But she took my head and then turned it toward herself and said, Dad, you're not listening. And then she was 3 years old. So when a 3 year old knows that you are not listening to her, then those who are adults and peers and managers, they know you are not truly listening. So one way is just to have a good eye contact, to pay attention, to write down, take notes, paraphrase, and also show them interest, lean forward. There are various techniques that you can use in order to have a more effective and more active listening. And when you develop that, people really build a rapport just by that, and they know that you care. And when they know that you care, they care more about you, they understand you as well, they start also to listen back rather than just talking, and that really builds that relationship to the next level. And when you build that relationship and understanding, then influence comes naturally, and therefore they follow and you be the leader. That's how all of these things connect with each other. Okay, so that was about it, about the weekly connect. If you have any comment, any questions about this, please let me know. Just put your comment or question in the comment box. It's right now live streaming in Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and I'd be happy to hear from you. If there is any question you want me to talk about that in one of the weekly connects, also let me know. Okay, thank you so much. Until next time, live the life of your dreams and make a difference consistently. Go out there, listen to those around you, and then based on that, when you understand them, offer them what that can really add value to them and can fulfill their needs. Stay